Chapter 38, Chapter 1. Zeal woke up from his sleep. This time he saw a different ceiling again from 1 year ago. He immediately got up from his bed to shower and change clothes. After bathing and getting dressed, Zeal stood in front of the mirror to fix his hair. He is currently no longer wearing a mask. His hairstyle was still the same as 1 year ago, but his hair color, which was previously grey, had now turned into black. Moreover, his previously crimson-colored eyes had turned brownish black. Zeal changed it to be not recognized after the Argent Kingdom accident 1 year ago. He changed the color of his hair and eyes using his imitation ability, making him the same as when he was first summoned to this world, except for his eyes that looked lazy and don't care about anything around him. Zeal did it because people with grey hair and crimson eyes were very conspicuous and would cause unnecessarily trouble. Okay, time to work. Zeal straightened his clothing. The attire he was currently wearing was the same as a butler's attire, as he had worn before, but not as good as a real butler attire. Zeal was currently working in the residence of a Duke Castellines, one of the nobles of the Nigel Kingdom. Zeal worked in this place for almost 1 year. Why did he get to work here? It all started 1 year ago, after Zeal disappeared from the Argent Kingdom. After Zeal stepped into the space rift he created and left the Argent Kingdom, he teleported in the middle of an unknown forest. Where am I currently? Zeal looked around, but found nothing. Then he started walking into the forest. Zeal doesn't know how many days has passed. He still hadn't found anyone in the forest, and had only encountered a magical beast. Currently Zeal is not wearing a mask on his face. He changed his appearance to be like him when he was first summoned to this world. His hairstyle was the same as when he was in Argent Kingdom. Zeal only changed the color of his hair and eyes. Zeal could have teleported again to another place or flown to the nearest town, but he doesn't know the current geography of the glorious continent. If Zeal teleported and silly appeared in the middle of the city, it will be more troublesome if he flies. Others can accidentally see him and reveal his whereabouts. It would only create an uneasiness thus. So he decided to go through the forest and find a way out of foot. While Zeal was resting under a large tree, he heard a noise not far from the current location. He currently ran towards the source of the noise. When Zeal got there, he saw a group of people dressed in black with their faces covered, surrounding a luxurious-looking carriage. A bald and fat middle-aged man fell with a wound on his shoulder. He was protected by an old man dressed as a servant from the people in black. I know it's none of my business, but I need their help now. And maybe in the future. Zeal could tell from his clothing that the bald and fat middle-aged man currently in danger was a noble. Zeal disappeared from his hiding place and reappeared right behind one of the black-clothed people. He hit the man's neck and disappeared again. From there, one by one, the people in black fell without knowing the cause. What? One of the people in black, who looked like the leader, quickly backed away and distanced himself. But it was too late, because Zeal was already behind him and strangled him by the neck. Where are you? The group leader tried to turn around and look at Zeal, but Zeal broke his neck before he did. Then Zeal threw his body to the noble and his servant, were frightened. when they saw Zeal approaching them. "Who are you?" The servant drew his sword and Zeal. "I'm sorry if I scared you. I'm just an adventurer lost in this forest. While I was looking for a way out, I heard the sound of people fighting. As I checked into this place, I saw that you guys were endangered. I decided to help." Zeal looked very suspicious because he suddenly came out from the middle of the forest and saved them. So Zeal needed to explain the situation for them to believe. The servant still didn't lower his sword. He didn't seem to believe Zeal's explanation. "Stop it, Raven." The injured, bald man got up while holding the wound on his shoulder. "Lord Hazel, you shouldn't move around too much, otherwise your wound will get worse." The servant quickly helped the bald man up. He was named Raven, steward, and was the butler of that noble. "I'm fine, Raven. You must not be rude to our savior." The bald man seemed to have still trouble speaking. "I understand, my lord." Raven lowered his head and shattered his sword. "I apologize for my servant's behavior. I am Duke of the Najal Kingdom. My name is Hazel Castelline." Hazel could only lower his head as he introduced himself. He couldn't move much because his injuries were quite severe. "Ah, it turns out that you are a noble. Please forgive my rudeness. My name is Ken Magicasi. I got lost after entering the forest for an adventure. Considerably, while I was looking for a way out, I ran into you. I know where we are now." Sil introduced himself using his old name, because he knew if he used his current name it would only cause trouble. "Oh, Ken? What a unique name. Here is a forest near the capital of Najal Kingdom, Moisen City." Hazel smiled faintly as he endured the pain in his shoulder. "I think Lord Hazel should treat the wound first. If you leave the wound like that, you might lose your consciousness due to blood loss," Zeal reminded Duke Hazel. "But we don't have a healer with us," Raven answered Zeal with a gloomy face. "I can cure you if you trust me." Zeal looked at Duke Hazel. "Okay, I trust you. Please take care of me." Duke Hazel nodded at Zeal. He quickly believed Zeal's words. "But my lord," Raven still couldn't believe Zeal's words. He stood in front of Duke Hazel to prevent Zeal from approaching his master. "It's alright, Raven. If you want to do something bad to us, he did it before." Duke Hazel raised his hand to stop Raven from talking. "Okay, Raven," reluctantly believed Zeal after hearing what Duke Hazel said. He backed off and let Zeal heal the Duke. Zeal doesn't care about Raven's attitude towards him. He walked up to the Duke Hazel and cast a healing spell on his wound. Minor heal. Duke Hazel's wound slowly closed. It didn't take long for the injury to heal completely. "Amazing! You can beat someone at this level of a sword master. And you can even do healing magic? You must be at least a magic grandmaster." Duke Hazel was taken aback by Zeal's healing ability. "Sorry, but you're wrong. I'm just a senior knight. I can defeat a man in black because I activated a single-use magic tool to make myself invincible and increase my speed, where healing magic is only magic I can use, unsafe for dangerous situations." Zeal tried to make Duke Hazel believe his sword, but Duke Hazel frowned in doubt after hearing his answer. Zeal opened the 4-dual dragon pattern aura seal and disguises the pattern into a double snake. Duke Hazel believed Zeal's words after seeing that. "Sorry if I doubted you. If you want to go to the nearest town, how about you come with us? We happen to be in our direction, and haven't properly thanked you for saving us." Duke Hazel invited Zeal to go with him. Zeal pretended to think, then nodded slowly. "Okay, if that doesn't bother you, Zeal agreed to Duke Hazel's invitation. Then we must leave immediately. If we leave now, we can arrive before nightfall. You may enter with me in the carriage. Duke Hazel and his subordinate prepared to resume the journey to Moisen City, which was delayed due to ambush of the men in black. Is that okay? Zeal felt that Duke Hazel was careless for letting the person he had just met in the carriage with him, considering he was a noble. What he had done was dangerous for him. Of course, you are our savior. If you had malicious intent, you would have done it a long time ago. Duke Hazel seemed to trust Zeal at this point. I am honored and grateful for your trust in me. Zeal entered the carriage along with Duke Hazel. His other servant and subordinates began to prepare for their departure. Long after, they continued their journey to the capital of Nigel Kingdom, the Moisen City. Chapter 39. Chapter 2. Zeal sat opposite of Duke Hazel in the carriage to the Nigel Kingdom's capital, Moisen City. In a previous explanation, you said that you were lost in the forest. May I know where you're from? Duke Hazel was curious about Zeal's origins. I came from a remote village on the outskirts of this forest. I went to the city to seek life experience. Unexpectedly, when I passed through the forest, I got lost. Zeal looked depressed when he said it. Then what are you going to do when you get to the town? Duke Hazel still doesn't know what Zeal's real goal is. I still don't know what I will do when I get to the town, but most importantly, I have to find a place to live and a job first. Zeal thought for a moment before answering Duke Hazel. A job? Are you going to be an adventurer? Or a guardian knight? Or maybe something else? Duke Hazel looked like he was thinking about something else while asking Zeal. I thought about that too, but my swordmanship is mediocre. I was able to beat those guys with the help of a magic tool. For now, I probably look for a job that matches my other skills. Zeal could only think about his servant job in Argent Kingdom because he didn't know what do once Hash reached the city. What skill do you mean by that? Duke Hazel kept asking about Zeal. He seemed to have other goals after he found out his background. Servant? My parents are former servants. Once worked for certain nobles. Since childhood, I was taught a little about being a good servant. Although not as good as my parents, Zeal was telling the truth, except about his parents being former servants. Since his adoptive parents were still active as servants until recently in the Argent Kingdom, while his birth parents were, he didn't know anything about them. A servant? If you really can be a servant, how about you work at my house? Let's say I'm returning the favor for saving my life. Duke Hazel smiled and offered Zeal a job without hesitation. Is that okay? Hiring someone you haven't known for long. Zeal felt Duke Hazel had other intentions towards him. I need a guardian knight for my daughter, Duke Hazel suddenly said seriously. Does this have something to do with the man in black who attacked you in the forest? Zeal already knew that the people who attacked Duke Hazel before were not bandits, but more like organized soldiers. In other words, it is a matter of politics and power. Yeah, you're right, it seems you already knew. I have a lot of political enemies who want my death. If they're targeted only me, that's fine, but if they're targeting my family, especially when I'm not around, that's always a burden on my mind. Duke Hazel honestly admitted it. So you want me to be the guardian knight for your daughter? Zeal quickly caught the attention of Duke Hazel. Yes, but I want you to protect her while being her servant. I want you not to tell her. Duke Hazel's face looked complicated. So I have to protect her secretly. Don't let her know that she or her family is in danger, right? I don't want your daughter to be worried about you. Zeal nodded and understood what Duke Hazel wanted. You're right, because you already understand, everything becomes easier. So will you be my daughter's servant and protect her secretly? Duke Hazel said with a hopeful face. Would your daughter agree to this? I mean, suddenly you gave her a servant. Zeal doesn't know if the person in question needs or is willing to accept a servant his father suddenly brought out of nowhere. You don't have to worry about that. I've discussed this matter with my daughter before, but I haven't found the right person till I met you. Luke Hazel was already thinking about hiring Zeal, but he allowed Zeal into the carriage. On your basis saying that, shouldn't you be more suspicious of the person you just met? What if I also spy, sent by the enemy? Zeal asked Duke Hazel with a serious face. Even if I look like this, my eyes won't misjudge others. I believe you are the right person to protect my daughter. Duke Hazel covered Zeal. Well, then I accept it. After all, I need this job. Zeal nodded in agreement with Duke Hazel's request. Good. Now we will go straight to my residence. I will introduce you to my daughter to you, so you can start protecting her. Duke Hazel looked happy after Zeal agreed to his request. Perhaps he was relieved that he had found the right guardian knight to protect his daughter. Along the way, Duke Hazel and Zeal kept chatting until they didn't realize that they had arrived at Moisen City. Moisen City is the capital of the Nigel Kingdom, although not as big as the capital of the Argent Kingdom. The existing buildings and houses look classic and neatly arranged. Besides that, Moisen City was a bustling and silver city. The residence of the Duke of the Castle was in the center of the city, and not far from the castle of the Nigel Kingdom. It wasn't long after they passed through the city gates they arrived in front of the luxurious mansion. Zeal didn't know how to grant a noble house in the Argent Kingdom, was because he had never seen one. He always practiced at castle and rarely socialized with people around him. At this moment they stopped in front of the large gate. Zeal could see a classic-style mansion dominated by black and grey from inside the carriage. In front of the mansion there is a large green garden filled with various kinds of flowers. The soldier on guard immediately opened the gate upon seeing Duke Hazel return. When Zeal and Duke Hazel got off the carriage, they were immediately greeted by a beautiful middle-aged woman with blue braided hair. It seemed the guardian had already informed Duke Hazel was back. I'm home, honey. Duke Hazel smiled and hugged the woman. Welcome home, honey. Are you okay? You're not hurt, are you? The woman examined Duke Hazel's body from top to bottom. Zeal could tell that woman was Duke Hazel's wife, and a mistress of this house from the affection they shown. I'm fine, honey. This kind of thing is unsightly to outsiders. Duke Hazel felt awkward with his wife's behavior in front of Zeal. The woman realized that someone else was watching them. Oh my, I'm sorry. I didn't realize somebody else was watching us because I was too worried. Then, where's he, honey? The woman laughed while covering her mouth. He was the one who saved me, honey. If it was for him, I might not have come back, Duke Hazel said with a gloomy face. What? So they attacked you again on the way. The woman was angry and 5 magic circles appeared on her body. Calm down, honey. The important thing is that I'm fine now, right? Duke Hazel tried to calm his wife down. Honey, the woman still couldn't suppress her anger. Calm down, honey. We'll talk about this later. Importantly, I'll introduce him. He's the one who saved me. His name is Ken. Luke Hazel cut off his wife's words and introduced Zeal. Oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away with anger earlier. I'm the wife of Hazel, Castelline. My name is Eleanor Castelline. Nice to meet you. Eleanor introduced herself allegedly while pinching the hem of her dress. My name is Ken Nijagsaki, and I'm just an adventurer. It's an honor to our acquaintance with you. Zeal put his right hand on his chest and slightly bowed while introduced himself. Your manners look very subtle. Are you from a noble family? Eleanor was impressed by the way Zeal introduced himself. I'm just the son of a former noble servant. I've been tough manners since childhood, so I understand a little about it. Zeal said the thing he had said before the Duke Hazel. Okay, let's continue the conversation inside. Duke Hazel interrupts them. Zeal and Eleanor nodded and followed Duke Hazel towards the mansion, but just as they were about to enter the mansion, a girl of Zeal's age suddenly appeared from inside.